Hi everyone, my name is Yolanda Anderson. I'm back again. I have another guest here with me. Her name is Tiffany Fernandez. But hey guys, also I have a YouTube channel now. I would like you guys to follow me, and also I would like you guys to subscribe to me. It's Strong Couples 101, Strong Couples 101. So now I do have a guest with me today. As I said before, her name is Tiffany Fernandez. And so what she's going to talk about with us today, have a conversation. As I said, we're going to be doing conversations right now. So what she's going to be talking about, her being single, and what was her process, what was her journey. That's my wording I want to use. What was her journey? Because now she's married, and she never thought she was going to get married. You know, that journey y'all go through, some of y'all single ladies, all the single ladies. So we all know that sometimes we have that process, or we have that journey, and then we just want to know, what was her journey? And how did she get through her journey, and now finding out, okay, I can get some love at last, that God put that in her life. So we're going to talk to Miss Tiffany Fernandez. So here she is. She is a counselor. So we're going to talk with her, and she's going to tell us about her process. Glad to have you. We're glad that you're here now to just talk to us. What was your journey?
First, I want to say thank you for having me on today. Well, my journey from being single to now married, yes, it was a process. The first thing I would say when I was going through this process is really looking at myself, trying to figure out some things that I needed to change about me to prepare myself for marriage. So two things that I know I really had to work on was fear and my finances.
Fear?
Yes.
Okay. Talk to us about that fear.
Okay. So yeah, I was very fearful growing up, and it was hard for me to do things on my own. I really relied on my parents and also my sister as well. So one thing that I really wanted to work on again was fear. So one thing I did for myself was I took a class in Atlanta that pushed me in my area of fear, because it helped me to learn how to drive in the city. I was very fearful of driving in the highway in the city. So doing that class and taking that time to really work on myself as far as fear, that really helped me, because as I dreamed of being a parent, I didn't want my children to have fear. So that's something that I really wanted to work on for myself, and that really did help me.
Okay, so you said you had fear. So this type of fear was more so, you saying it was personal.
Yes.
Okay, so you had some fears within yourself that you didn't want to carry over into bringing somebody else into your life and then bringing it to them, right?
Right.
Because that's almost like a handicap.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Talk to me about that.
Yes. Well, like I said, fear was a big problem for me. And yeah, like you said, it could be a handicap. Yeah. Again, like I said before, I was really relying on my parents for direction and just really helped me out in that area of fear. So I really just tried my best to do it on my own, because I feel like I needed to take that big step to make that change for myself again, so that did not affect my marriage or my children. So like I said before, taking that leap of faith and really going out and taking that class in the city helped me to work on my fear in that area, as well as other things. Else, when it comes to my fear, I really doubted myself as far as making decisions. Again, I looked to my parents to help me make choices, but I really had to rely on myself, and that really also kind of put me in a place where I really need to work on my relationship with Christ, just to learn how to be more in tune with Him.
Oh, good. Okay.
So that really helped me as well. So I really grew up in that time, that process that I was going through as I was working towards becoming married.
Okay, so you're saying, so that was a maturity level you had to get to.
Absolutely.
So do you think some young ladies sometimes they need to be mature, ready for marriage?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we think we're ready for marriage, but we're not actually ready for marriage. Because we have things that we are dealing with individually, things that we need to take care of, so we won't bring a burden onto another person. I mean, it's important. So we have to remember, it's important that we have to work on ourselves. We got to make space for someone else. So that means first thing that we have to do is work on ourselves. That's what it sounds like you're telling us,
Yes.
that we need to first work on ourselves. If this is something that young ladies want to do, they want to have a significant others come over into their life. Okay, continue to talk to us.
Yes, as you're working on yourself, you want to be the best version of yourself. So going into becoming married, you want to bring the best version of yourself into that marriage, because you can't have two unhealthy people.
Ooh.
So it's okay
Ooh.
if the other person is unhealthy if you are healthy,
Oh.
because you're able to help that person.
Ooh, you are a counselor, right? Ooh, I heard that counseling part. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So another thing outside of the fear was finances. That's another thing that I really wanted to work on, to not go into the marriage struggling, on my end at least. So that's one thing that I tried to make my business, to make sure that that was secure.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I wanted to do was making sure at least my car was paid off.
Mm-hmm.
If some bills that I knew I could pay off, go ahead and pay that off.
Right.
So I can be at the best place possible for my marriage. And also that helped me to get the wedding that I desired.
Okay.
Because I was able to save that money and just get what I wanted for my wedding.
Wow, you had good planning. That was awesome, because many times we have to remember that we have to make sure our finances are in order, really on both ends. Make sure our finances are in a good place where you gonna save up some money. So when you go into marriage, you're not having all these financial concerns. We're gonna say concerns, okay? So, but that is awesome. So with you going through this process, because it sounds like to me, she knew she was gonna get married. All the things that she was doing and all the whole process that she was going through, it sounded like she knew she was gonna get married, even though she ain't seen the guy yet. Am I right about that?
Yes, you're right.
Wow, so you was really walking by faith.
Yes.
What else? Did anything else happen? How did you know you was gonna get married? Was it a feeling? I'm sure they would want to know. Was it a feeling? Did God tell you? Did you have a sense? What happened?
Well, I am a dreamer, so I began having dreams about my spouse. I did not know what he was going to look like, but I did know things about him.
Okay.
I knew that he was going to have brothers, and he was the youngest brother. I knew that he was going to be Hispanic, and I knew that he was going to have a child. So those are things that God told me and showed me in my dreams.
That is awesome. Really?
Yes.
God gave you details. Listen, ladies, God can give you details now. You can get the right person. God can give you details about your spouse. So you ain't got to go into this thing blindsided, saying I thought and hey, he said and he did all that, sick about all that stuff. No, we're not doing that. God will tell you clearly who he is and how he's going to look and what type of person he is. So that is awesome. So when you really found this out, so you just start working on yourself, you knew that you needed to do the things you needed to do so that you can be that better version of you as a wife, right?
Yes. Like I said before, knowing that my husband was going to have a child, I really worked on myself as far as preparing that space for that child.
Tell us about that, because that's a whole different part, with another, your significant other, knowing that he's going to have a child. What was your process with that? Because some people don't want anybody with children. But if God say you're going to have it, he's going to have a child, then what do you do? Because some people saying that no, but if that's what God say, then how did that go for you?
Well, it took a lot of prayer and fasting about it, and just preparing my mind, as well as I get my space as well for that child. Just how to raise a child. Like, I never had children on my own. That was definitely a different space that I was going to be put in. But God was dealing with me at least a year before that even came up. So I was more prepared since God was preparing me for that.
A year before you met your husband?
Yes.
Whoa, really? Say that again to the people.
I said God was really dealing with me with that for at least a year before I met my husband.
Wow. That God is real. God is real. So, okay, now you know all of this. So what was your whole mind process, knowing that you're going to have someone that's going to have a child? You know he's going to be a Hispanic. That's details. God went into details with you. So are you a detailed dreamer like that anyway?
Yes, I am.
Wow, that is awesome. Listen, you guys, it is so good to have Miss Tiffany here, knowing that, she never thought, did you ever think you were not going to get married? Because I know you had to go through some changes on that part, thinking before you got here. Mm-hmm. What were some of the things that you went through your mind before you even got here?
Well, as I was getting older, as you said before, I did get married at 31.
31. Mm-hmm.
So before that, I had thoughts of not getting married, and I was just preparing myself. If I wasn't going to get married, what was that going to look like? So I was asking God, if this is not for me, then what do you want me to do? So I started looking for places of my own, just in case, my desires didn't happen. Just preparing myself for that so I could be okay. But it's still in the back of my head. I really was praying that God sends me a spouse, that I was able to get married.
Wow. So you went on, you had plan A and B.
Pretty much.
So she had a plan A and B. So just in case, God, I know I'm dreaming, but just in case,
right.
You telling me all these details, but just in case. But it's truly, young ladies, sometimes it's just a process, wanted to get married and then you're not sure. But if you know you want to get married, just prepare yourself. I always tell, don't not prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Make room. If you have did you have too many friends in your life? Because sometimes I think people sometimes have too many friends in their life. They crowd out their significant other. They can't see them because, can you talk to us about that?
Yes. Well, I didn't have a lot of lady friends in my life, but I did have guy friends, and that's something that I did have to make a change about. I really had to start slowing down on hanging out with them because I had to start looking at them like, are these people husband material? Oh. If they're not people that I can see myself marrying, or if they're not saying they want to be married, then these people I don't need to be spending my time with because they are filling up my time, like you said, that could be geared towards my spouse.
Oh, I love that what you said. You start looking around around your surroundings and said, are they husband material? Why are we hanging out together? What we doing? Not because, of course they're your friends, But I'm just saying, if you saying these people are not trying to get married, they ain't trying to go that way, and your mindset has changed, you're in a whole different frame mind, you don't need to keep hanging out with those same people that don't want what you want. So if they don't want marriage, listen, if you want to stay their friend, that's fine. But you must be in the same wavelength with them, because if you want something different, if you want a husband, God's going to do something different for you, because this is the point when you have to make changes. Am I right? It sounds like you have to make some changes.
Yes.
You have to do things differently. You can't do the same things that you once doing before, because you are now moving in a different direction. So then you had to change who you're surrounding with. You had to change some things about yourself. So then you have to quiet the noise so you're able to hear God, so that He can talk to you, so you can make the changes. Oh my God, Miss Tiffany Fernandez, now 33, she's married now, guys. Wow. I tell you, look good. Marriage look good on you. That is so wonderful. I am happy for you. I'm happy for your other half. I'm glad that you went through this process for others, so people can understand that there is hope there. God will deal with you. God will let you know. Nobody don't have to come up to you tell me, I saw a light, or they written down on a piece of paper. God is going to let you know as well. It will not be one-sided. It is going to be on both sides. It will not be one-sided. God will not do us like that. But we have to be good listeners, and we have to make room for other people to come in, your other significant to come in. So I just want to thank you. It has been a pleasure having you. As we're having this conversation, we thank Ms. Fernandez for having us. I think she liked me saying Ms. Fernandez. Yes. So we just thank her for coming here. You all continue to follow me on Instagram, strong_couples101. Thank you, strong_couples101. And please follow me. I just got my YouTube channel. Please follow me, Strong Couples 101, Strong Couples 101, and that is on my YouTube channel, my new, I can't hardly get it out because it's so new. I'm trying to make sure everybody learn about it and know about it. So thank you for following. Thank you for listening to me. And we will have more conversations coming back to you again. Once again, this is Yolanda Anderson. We're glad that you came. Thank you. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.